Hey y'all, iRick's Guy here, and I want to talk about Lumar window films. And you can see those big windows behind me. They've got Lumar window films attached, and you probably didn't even notice. So within this video, I want to talk about why I decided to have Lumar window films professionally installed, the value adds of doing so, and it's not that expensive. I mean, if you've got a ton of windows, yes, it's going to be more expensive based upon the number of windows and the size of the windows. But why would somebody want to attach Lumar window films to their windows? Typically, when I thought of tint, I thought of window tint, I thought of a vehicle, maybe a boat. I know I had, my boat, one of my boats, I had the windows in it tinted, which was really nice. But I never thought about tinting windows in a house. Now these right here, there's different degrees of darkness that one can choose. And there's some that on the outside, it'll look pretty much like a traditional window. It would be hard for somebody from the outside to tell that there's a window tinting applied. But there are some that are, you can choose. Lumar's got a variety of different options, different, the amount of light they let through, how they look on the outside. Are they kind of reflective to where people from the outside couldn't see in? Or does it look like there's nothing even attached to the window so that people from the outside could still see in? These particular Lumar treatments on these windows are, they don't block out the view completely, but from the outside, it's hard to see in, and that was by design. Typically, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. So if you've got windows on the east or the west side of your house, typically those are going to get intense sunlight, depending upon where it is. If it's on the east, well, when the sun rises, there's going to be a lot of sun. If it's on the west, when the sun sets, there's going to be a lot of sun. What people don't think about windows, you could put blinds up there, you could put curtains, whatever, to block the sun out, but then you can't see out. The value add of the Lumar window tint is that you still see out. It looks just like the window looked. You didn't have to buy new windows. You didn't have to, anytime that windows are replaced, especially nowadays at the time of filming this, most contract work is horrible. It's typically poor quality materials, poor quality labor, and it's typically extremely expensive. So being able to take the existing windows in one's house, apply this Lumar window treatment so that let's get into that here now. So what you don't think about, initially you're like, okay, I want to tint my windows in my house because the sun's too bright. There's a lot of glare, but there's a lot more to it than that. Not only is this good for reducing glare, but you think about everything that's inside of your house. Furniture, you got a sofa, you got a chair, wood, hardwood floors. You've got a desk, you've got an office chair, you've got a computer, you've got artwork, photographs hanging on the wall. All of that over time, if there's a window close by, the sun can damage. It can discolor furniture, it can discolor floors, it can discolor artwork, photos. It can make things brittle over time. The sun can dry certain things out and just make them fall apart. So the fact that a window has been treated with Lumar may better prolong the life of everything that's inside of that room where the window is. And that's a huge value add for doing this, not just to reduce the glare, but in this case, and this was the first window that we had the Lumar applied to, this is in a, it's east or west. When the sun rises, or in this case sets, it's very intense. So it made this kitchen extremely hot, and there was a lot of glare. So if you're in here, you're sweating, and it just was unpleasant. the simple act of installing Lumar window tint has made this kitchen perfectly comfortable throughout the day. And right now the sun's not shining directly through, but you can see even with the sun right now is probably over the house, but you can still see out these windows. It's not like you've tinted them to where you can't see out. Now this, by the way, is one of the darker levels of Lumar tint. And like I said, you can look at their samples, you can hold them up to your glass, and you can see not only from the inside, but from the outside of the house, how it looks. You know, how much sun from the inside is it blocking? You know, when you've got intense sunlight, how much is it blocking? And then from the outside, how does it look? Can you still see inside of the house? Is it partially, tinted to where you can't? Like I said, there's a variety of different options. If you want to have it configured to where people can't see in from the outside, you can do that. But if you want to have it configured to where people from the outside would probably never notice that you have a Lumar tint applied to all of your windows, you can do that as well. But regardless of which option you choose, it's going to provide the value add of eliminating a lot of that harmful sunlight, not just from a temperature perspective, but like I said, sunlight over time can really damage pretty much anything that's in close proximity of a window. That's just what intense sunlight will do. But the other value add, obviously, especially during warm weather months where there may be a lot of heat, maybe you got a lot of windows and there's a lot of sunlight coming in. Well, number one, that sunlight produces heat. Well, what happens when heat's produced? When heat's produced, an HVAC unit, an air conditioner, tends to run more. Well, what happens when an air conditioner runs more? Typically, the cost of utilities goes up. So if you look at Lumar window tint from not just going to make everything, reduce the glare, make the temperature better inside of the house, but if you look beyond that and you look at it from the perspective of, okay, well, I've got all these windows, all this stuff that I had in there, furniture, artwork, photos, office furniture, that could be a desk, a chair, a computer, you name it, all that rugs on the floor, all that stuff that's in there over time is likely going to discolor. So the fact that windows can be treated with Lumar, and by the way, Lumar, they install it on the inside of the glass. Now, once it's installed, you probably won't even be able to tell that it's there. Now, to clean it and check the, check with the Lumar installer, and they'll tell you what to use or what not to use, but be sure that you use the appropriate cleaning solution as you clean your windows from the inside. Obviously, the outside doesn't have a treatment, so the outside's not applicable. Lumar installs on the inside of the windows. But if you've never thought about this, you probably thought that blinds, which especially if you're dealing with custom blinds can become insanely expensive. And, once they're open, they're not doing anything. They're letting the light in. Whereas with Lumar window tint, you've got a layer of protection on the inside of that window's glass. And it's providing an abundance of value adds. Like I mentioned, cooler room, less glare, probably going to reduce the damage that sun does to furniture, to the floor, to any sort of computer equipment, artwork, photographs. So the list goes on. I mean, I think it's a very good choice. I noticed that there weren't a lot of videos on YouTube talking about Lumar, and that's why I wanted to post this video, because I am extremely happy with Lumar, this installation. And again, this one you can see out, but this one from the outside, it does kind of obstruct the view, so people from the outside couldn't see in. There's some other windows where I'm going to install a Lumar, I think it's the ceramic, and the ceramic, when it's on there, what would I call it? The specification of the ceramic Lumar that I'm using, it'll still allow people to see in from the outside. So from the outside, it'll look like a standard window, but from the inside, the glare will be radically reduced. the amount of damaging sunlight that passes through the window. It'll be dramatically toned down. So it's well worth it in my opinion. But I just wanted to post this video. If you got questions, I would definitely recommend, reach out to Lumar. They can probably find you an installer in your area. But I mean, I'm super happy with it. And if you thought that tint was only for vehicles, no, you can do your home's windows with tint. And like I said, people not even realize from the outside that it's even applied to the windows. So it doesn't look bad. I mean, it's not like you're going to make your home look like a gas station. Gas stations, they've got those tinted windows and they're shiny and you just, it's like a mirror. I mean, this isn't like that. It's there, but nobody would know that it's there unless you want it to be the type to where it blocks the ability for people from the outside to see in. And in that case, somebody would know it's there. But it looks very nice and it gets the job done. I will post a follow-up review after I've had my Lumar installed for several years. I'm going to do a close inspection, see if there's any issues, hopefully not. I think the lifespan of this, and check with Lumar, they'll give you the specifics, but like I said, I just had it installed. So I will be doing like I said, a follow-up review within a few years to let you know how my Lumar is holding up in on my residential windows. Thanks for your viewership. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Irix Guy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.